You hear me? Clap and don't stop clapping. Woo! All right, championship team. Hey, just wanted to tell you, I am super excited about how full this room is today. First of all, I really want to thank OSF and the Jump Center, and I want to thank everybody who has showed up today. I want to thank the organizers of 1 Million Cups here in Peoria, Raphael Rodolfi, who is manning the cameras and the AV equipment, and Ashley Thomas from Cook With Me TV. I want to welcome our speakers today, Ruben Cummings of Nerevu, and we also have Joanna Carroll, who is a Google educator, a Google innovator, a Google extraordinaire, and we'll find out all about that later. So 1 Million Cups, of course, was started by the Kauffman Foundation based in Kansas City. The whole idea was, how do we bring together and build a vibrant entrepreneur community when so many of us are focused on the individual day-to-day tasks of running our own businesses, that we forget to reach out and interact with those other people that are running into some of the same challenges that we have, or have solved some of the problems that we're facing right now. So we're really excited to have people coming together and working in collaboration, not in competition, but I would say co-opetition. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Ruben Cummings to tell us about his journey with his company, Nerevu. Welcome, Ruben.
Hey. Okay, thanks for everyone coming here today. So to start off, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in New Orleans, and I moved to Peoria while I was still pretty young. I went to Roosevelt Magnet School and Manual High School, and luckily enough, I was there at the time when Manual won its 4 back-to-back state basketball championships, and so that was a really exciting time to be in high school. After Manual, I went to MIT, which is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. That bottom left picture there is my class ring, and it's a pretty common thing that alumni wear, and we affectionately call it our brass rat. The other picture there is of the Great Dome, which is one of the main buildings on campus. So MIT has a history of hacking, and hacking in MIT sense is I guess pranks that students kind of do around campus. And so the dome is one of the common themes that students like to hack, and this is fairly recent, where some students turned the dome into the Avengers Shield. So I graduated from MIT with a degree in chemical engineering, and afterwards I decided to stay in Boston. I worked for a consulting company called Meteor Consulting, and they're a new product development consulting company. In total, I was in Boston for about 10 years, and after that time, I kind of got bored with living in the States and wanted to do some traveling. So I did a bit of research, and I found a company called Global Cycle Solutions. They're located in East Africa, in a city called Arusha, Tanzania. And so I packed everything up, moved to Tanzania, and went to work for this company. This picture is one of the products that they manufactured during the time that I was there. And what it is a bicycle-powered maize sheller, and it helps farmers to harvest their corn a lot more efficiently than the manual methods that they're normally doing. So I was with GCS for several years, and afterwards I kind of moved off on my own to do independent consulting, and I initially started doing web development, web application development, and eventually I got more and more into data analytics, and it turned into the company that I'm going to be telling you a little bit about later, which is Nerevu Group. I was in Tanzania up until last year, at which point I moved back here to Peoria. A lot of people ask me why I moved back to Peoria, and for those of you that are wondering, she's standing in the back there taking pictures. That's the love of my life, Lavetta Aguilera. So the problem that we're solving at Nerevu Group is summed up nicely by this quote. It's from a marketing survey done by Teradata in 2015, and almost 90% of the respondents agreed with it. And it says, data is the most underutilized asset in our marketing organization. As a self-proclaimed data junkie, I believe analytics is the key to making informed decisions. and I strive to demystify it every chance I get. And it's my hope that future marketing organizations are going to be able to efficiently use data and won't really have to worry about it being the most underutilized asset. As a company, Nerevu Group is rooted in openness and transparency. So we contribute and produce a lot of open source software, and we also support open data initiatives. So in fact, Peter, which is Peter Kolbach right there, is going to be leading a session on building Peoria's open data platform, and that's going to be held in conjunction with the greater Peoria data and analytics community. It's this evening at the Nest at 5:30, which is downtown next door to Sugar. So additionally, we strive to make marketing analytics approachable. And we do this by creating elegant solutions that give organizations a 360-degree view of their customer. This insight helps businesses increase their customer engagement and retention. And ultimately, this leads to increased recurring revenue. The way we do this is by focusing on the end customer. We identify leaks in our customer sales funnel and create user experiences to help stop them. These improvements are a result of a range of services that we provide at Nerevu, and this includes platform research, setup, implementation, customization, and also custom development. So I like to say marketing will get customers in the door, but Nerevu will help you keep them. So I know this may seem a little bit abstract, so I'm gonna show you how this process works for a typical client of ours. And we'll say this is gonna be Software Inc. They have a website, and so as people visit the website, a portion of them sign up for the free software trial. And then after that, some of those wind up subscribing. So where we come in is we tweak the web pages with the highest bounce rate, and we're able to help Software Inc. obtain more trial users. We're also able to optimize the first run experience of those users, and so they're able to retain more of subscribers that initially use the trial software. And that's all I have for you today. So at this point, I'd like to open the floor up for any questions, either about myself or my company, or what I've been up to since I've been back.
So I have a question. So
Yeah.
when you talk about your customer, give us an idea of who your traditional customer is. Who is your customer?
Sure. So the traditional customer would be a software company, kind of like I was showing before. This would be a company that has either software that they ship to their customers, or it could be a software as a service where users kind of go to their website and use it on a subscription basis. And so they're not actually downloading something. And the reason we like to work with software companies is because we're able to obtain a lot of information about the habits of the users. So we can see what websites or what pages on the website they visit, what features within the product are being used, if there's any issues such as pages that are crashing or functions that aren't working the way they should. And we're able to take all this information and really narrow in on why either that customers aren't engaging as much as they should be, or they aren't continuing to use the service.
What made you want to start your own business rather than join another company?
Good question. I guess I like having the freedom to select the type of projects that I work on. So I've worked for other companies in the past, and you don't always get to have a say in what you want to do. So I may have an interest in back-end development, so working with servers and databases, but that doesn't mean that I'll get a chance to really exercise those skills if the projects that get handed to me don't match up with that. So by starting my own company, I can really seek out the projects that I'm most interested in working on.
How are you different from Google Analytics?
So Google Analytics would, oh, sure. The question was, how am I different, or how are we different than Google Analytics? So Google Analytics is an example of one third-party platform that we would use as a tool when we're presenting solutions to the client. So depending on what the needs of the client are, if they want to know how many users or how many people are visiting their website, then one suggestion that we might give to them is, in order to kind of meet that need, we'll help you select Google Analytics, get it set up, get it customized, have the reports arranged for you. But there could also be other services that kind of fill in the holes where Google Analytics doesn't necessarily give you that information. And so we're able to look across a wide range of tools and third-party platforms and then select the best ones that will help solve that customer's problems.
How do you see your role changing over the next 5 to 10 years as more companies start to integrate analytics and data into their processes?
So the question is, so do you say my role personally within the company, or, okay. So the question is, how do I see my role changing over the next 5 years as more companies start to integrate data and analytics? So I've been back in Peoria, like I said, for about a year, and that was when I officially incorporated Nerevu Group as an LLC. And so prior to that, I was operating as a sole proprietor. And moving forward, I do hope that we expand as a company, grow larger. We're actually hiring interns right now for marketing and development roles. And so I see myself transitioning from doing more of the day-to-day operations work into being someone who's sourcing projects and working to kind of be the public face of the company and getting more projects, and then using the staff within the company to actually complete the work. And so that's something that I've been working with SCORE, and so some of my SCORE mentors are here, Andy and Lee, and also Kevin Evans at the SBDC. They're really helping me to figure out the best way to help make that transition into being, I guess, a single person LLC into actually running a business.
When you say we, for clarity for me, how many people are we talking about, and what's their background that are working with you?
Okay, so as far as full-time employees, I'm the only full-time employee. There are other people that I work with, contractors, freelancers. So Peter Kobach is working with me to actually hire the first round of interns right now. I'm planning to start out by working with college students and get them set up with internships, and then kind of use that as a trial run before we actually expand to having more full-time employees. But the background that I guess I'm looking for anyone who is a part of the company is, I guess, first and foremost, people who kind of have an appreciation for data and how that can help companies and also individuals make the best decision. And once, I guess, that background is taken care of, then it kind of really depends on the role. So right now I'm looking for people to fill marketing and development roles. And so for marketing, that can really be, a number of things, from business to English to writing. For the development roles, people with a background in programming, software development, engineering, math, those type of backgrounds I think would be best suited. Yeah.
Ruben, can you share your vision of where Nerevu Group will be in about 5 years?
Oh, great question.
Things go according to plan?
Yes, so Andy asked, where do I see Nerevu as a company being in the next 5 to 10 years? And right now we are primarily focused as a advisory services or a consulting company. I have a few products that I've kind of been experimenting with and working on, and so I would like to see Nerevu kind of transform from being primarily a consulting company to being a product and services company. And so we would offer individual software products or tools that companies could actually use and not necessarily have to engage us in consulting. And I think that is something that is more scalable, because when you're consulting, you're limited by the number of hours that you can work in a day. But once you have tools and services and products, then you're able to scale a lot more efficiently.
How is your model set up and structured right now for you to get paid? Are you paid by the presentation of analytics to companies, or are you paid based on results for the use of those analytics, or is it a subscription? Or?
Sure. So the question is, how do we get paid? Kind of, I guess, what the business model is. And so to answer that question, it's primarily project-based. And so a lot of the projects that I currently have are usually around building some type of web application or providing some type of analysis. And in order to deliver that, there's a few phases that we go through. So the initial phase is usually involved with the research and the advisory aspect of finding out what issues a client has and what is the best way to solve that. But at the end of the day, the deliverable is some tangible product, such as a web application or helping a client set up a customer relationship management system, getting all their employees onboarded, helping with the customization and making sure that it performs according to their specifications. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
What is your customer acquisition strategy?
So the question is, what is my customer acquisition strategy? Right now, it's, I guess, has been a lot through word of mouth. So I've been meeting with, I guess, pretty much anyone that I get the opportunity to meet with and talk about my company and what we do. And so through the help of people like Kevin Evans at the SBDC and also Chris Setti at Greater Peoria Economic Development Council, my name has been recommended, and my firm has been recommended a few times. I have a few projects ongoing now, and the hope is that once those projects are completed, then they'll also be a source of helping kind of spread through word of mouth. I've started doing some social media marketing, so being more active on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. And once the marketing internship position gets filled, then that marketing will increase as well. Because I can do some marketing, but like I said earlier, my time is really limited. So every hour I spend marketing the company, then that's one less hour that I have to work on a client project. Does that answer the question?
Well, Ruben, thank you for your presentation. And of course, at 1 Million Cups, we'd like to finish up the question round with offering, what is there that we as a community here of other people who are interested in entrepreneurship and startups, what can we do to help you?
Sure. So. So there you go. So there's a few questions that I guess I would like to ask the audience. So what roles within a particular organization should I target, kind of given what I've talked about? Are companies even aware that they have or may have a problem with their data? And if so, how do I reach those companies? And then thirdly, specific to your organizations that you represent, what data-related issues do you face? And then the last is also spread the word that we're hiring interns. So if anyone has answers to any of those first three questions, I would love to hear feedback.
Very good. Thank you very much.